Hey everybody, it's Lebo with Lebo's Pinball. We are working on this Getaway mountain mod, uh, and I've got the mountain here. I showed you last time we did a test fit on it, and so today we're going to go ahead and try to start getting this thing painted. So, the material this was made in, it's just this black material. Of course, that's not the way that I want the mountain to look, but it's got really nice texture and all. Um, but I think what I'm going to do, just as a start, I've already kind of test sprayed with my airbrush some gray that I mixed up. I think I'm just going to paint the whole thing kind of like as a base gray. Uh, and looking at pictures on the internet of some other examples people have done, I think I'm going to make this mostly brown, kind of a gray through here. Then we'll have some, the snow caps here at the top here for both of these. I'll paint all that to be a gray through there. That'll have to be brushed because we've got to get the edges of the stone and all. But I don't know if I said the mostly brown through here, but I may end up. I don't know if I'll put a little bit of green down at the bottom. I'm not sure or not if that will look right. I felt like I saw some example that had that uh, a while ago, but when I just got through looking, I couldn't really find that example that I really liked. So we'll go ahead and uh, try putting some of this gray on here, and let's see how this looks. All right, let's do a quick test with the paint. I was having a little bit of trouble. I haven't used this, this airbrush in a while, and last time I did, I thought I cleaned it up real well, but I think I still had just a little bit of paint in the nozzle, and it was kind of hard clearing it out. But I think I got it better now. So let's go ahead and start throwing this on. It's going on actually pretty fast. This is going to turn out really cool, I bet. Oh man, kind of don't really want to touch the wet paint, but really, kind of the idea is this is almost to me feeling like getting a primer coat in a way. It's not primer, it's just mixed up gray, but maybe by getting some layers on here, it'll help it look better. I don't know what I'm talking about. This Lebo, he's making it up as it goes. Woohoo! All right, come on now. I feel like I'm Bob Ross now. Just gonna put a little pretty little mountain on here. We're just gonna just throw a little paint on it, not a lot. Not get it excited, and just get a little great. I never did see him lose his cool. That would have been just awesome to see Bob Rice, just get so pissed off in the middle of a painting, something go off and just lose his cool. I don't know where that's coming from, by the way. All right, it's out of that paint. Let's throw a little more in here. Just keep on trucking along. Oh, watching this real time. I guess since I got this down here, I can. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, I think that's probably pretty good for getting this little first coat on here of just kind of a gray base. I'll let that dry for a little bit, and I think we'll move over to. I guess I'll move over to try and do that brown. Maybe just kind of fade that up. So let's let this dry, and we'll move back to that. So I'll let the gray paint dry for a little bit. It's actually probably only been maybe 20, 30 minutes. But it's pretty dry. And, in the camera, it looks actually pretty dark. It's a lot lighter. I don't know if this gives you a little better view of what it looks like so far. The light's not real bright down here. But anyways, all right, bug, get lost. Let's see, wants to come back. All right, so I went ahead and mixed up some brown, and let's kind of give a little bit of a test there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw that on. Let's see, it's kind of getting into. I'm wondering. I keep picking this up. I don't know that I really need to, other than maybe kind of getting it from, like these angles down through here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I'll set it down after this. All right. So the brown is now dried. It darkened up a little bit, which is what I was hoping for. So now I'm going to go throw a little bit of this white on. I've kind of mixed some it's white with there's a little bit of black and a little bit of that brown in there. So what I'm hoping to do is not get this just like super solid white up there. I think that would look really unrealistic, but just maybe kind of mist it on here, mist it down some. Um, if I screw this up, I'm just going to have to start over and really do it all, make it look better. But let's give it a go. Shoot this on, see what happens. All right, let's let this dry, and then we'll throw it up on the game and see how it looks. Got it in the game. Let's just kind of show you what it looks like here so far. I don't have any of the game lights on. I've just got a little bit of light here in the room, so it's not really totally representing, but it is looking pretty cool. Only thing is, it kind of seems like maybe a little crazy with some of the white. I've misted it down, feathered it down maybe too, not abruptly enough. This just kind of feathered down too far. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm feeling the brown. Kind of feel like I've got a big turd sitting in there. I might come back. I may just go ahead and try the green. We'll see. Here, let me flip the power on. Oh, come on. All right. It's funny. I've got the pin sound system in here, so you don't hear the normal sounds that you normally get when you first power it on. It has to kind of boot. But anyways, so with the lights that I have in this game, the way that it looks, let's see if we can get a little more light in here. You can kind of see how it looks. I don't know. And I tried, like if I take one of my spotlights and I turn it over this way, I'm not really totally feeling that much either. I did play it with this is like a Not Max, a purple light, which it looks a little different in the actual video compared to real life, but it does kind of help things sort of kind of brighten up without looking too overcolored. But I did try taking like a sunlight or maybe it was a warm white. I don't know, just wasn't totally satisfied. So let's try putting some green on, and if I don't like it, then I can just come back and redo some of the brown. And now I've got a little bit of green on it, and actually whitened up a little bit of the peaks of those little mountains too. And I am liking it. It's coming out a little bit better. Let's go ahead and turn the power on here. See how it looks with the lights on. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I still need to come back in here and on the entrance of the tunnel, I'm going to paint those bricks, kind of brighten those up a little bit too. And I did read some comments already on Pinside and some other areas. Be a good idea to put like a light or something inside. And I mentioned earlier about a light over here on the side, maybe a strip that's over here. Only thing I'll just experiment with it because I don't want it reflecting against that and looking. I don't know. If it's not a problem, it's not a problem. We'll just try it out. All right, let me paint a little more here down at the bottom and play with some light strips. A little more progress. We've got the tunnel, painted there in the front with the little bricks. Just a couple tiny little improvements on just the general paint. Let's flip the power back on one more time. See how it's looking just with the lights. So with the play field out, but I think we're getting really close to just calling it done. I may put some clear on it, just some of the acrylic clear that comes with this whole like Createx paint. And then we'll mess around with some lights. Here's the final result. This is after I've painted it and I threw some clear on it. So it should give a little bit more of a shine once it's in the game. But I really like how this whole little entrance to the tunnel turned out. I went in, I put some gray, and then I took a toothpick and some black paint and just kind of rubbed it around the little grooves there to kind of give it a little bit of character. And I threw a little bit of black in some little spots here. But all right, so we're going to put it back in the game, and like I said, play around with some lights, see how it looks. Here it is in the game. Actually, it's looking really cool. Definitely think that the adding the green was a good deal, and then for sure putting the clear coat on, because it starts to really kind of give it a little bit of a shine and character on all the edges. So I would recommend doing that for sure. All right, let's play with some lights. All right, so I've been playing with some lights a little bit, and I think I've kind of landed where I think I like it the best. But let me just go ahead and just kind of show you what I've done, or at least how it looks with everything mostly just kind of put together, at least in position. So I've got really two lights that I've added. There is a light strip that's hanging out here on the backside of the whole supercharger to shine up here on the mountain. And I just got this just temporarily held in place. Everything's kind of temporary. Even the look at this mess of wiring. I've got a little battery pack here that I put together. Um, 6 volts to reach out and to supply to all these little temporary lamps that don't have plugged into anything, just so I can move things around and just see how it looks. Kind of a little trick that I like to do. So I've got that one strip back there, and the other thing, and this one I've kind of fought around with it quite a bit, into the tunnel. From the player's perspective, you want to be able to see what's kind of going on back in there. But you don't want that light glaring back into your face. And I've seen so many times, like, there's a glare right here, but that's coming from a lot above. That's just temporary. Anyways, I've seen games where folks have added lights, or even just the original design had lights way in the back, and it's just pointing towards the player or pointing towards the play field, which reflects right back to the player. And that's, you just don't want that. So when I was messing around here in the tunnel, I even started to do that same problem myself. There's some spots back in there where you can mount, like a socket, and I was thinking, hey, that'd be kind of good to just illuminate that area. But the problem is you just see a reflection against that play field, and it's just no good. If you look around, like some of the other lights that I've done in this game, I've got these lights that are back in this way. They're flex bulbs, and they're shooting backwards so that it just kind of illuminates the whole, the playing area, but it just doesn't glare back in your face. So I think that's really important. So let me actually pull some of this apart, and I'll show you what I did behind it. With the supercharger pulled up and the mountain out of the way, that's where I ended up with a light socket mounted over there on the side, and I just happened to have a little double flex bulb, and this is natural white, by the way. Just kind of pointing it down and back a little bit, so it gives just without having the glare back towards your face, it helps illuminate that area. So I think what I'm going to do now is go ahead and try to mount these things up for real, run the wiring for real, and then get all mounted up and see how it looks. And here it is, all wired up with the lights. It's the final version of everything. So I got the light strip back here behind the supercharger shining on the mountain. That was a cool white strip, and I also had those double cool white flex bulbs that are down inside the tunnel. I've got them wired in, and it's tied to the GI, so I think we're all good. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you like it. If you are at Cincinnati in December of 2025, come and see it and say, hey, I'm going to have this game there. So we'll see you guys soon.